are up to date, we can have you in within 24 to 48 hours. And then we have probation for that. So that was like it's an extreme pendulum swing to your point.
But they've just taken it completely out of the process altogether.
Take it out. How do we know if someone's great at warehousing? Well, we watch them warehouse. We watch them pick pack.
Yeah.
And then we go, great work. You can stay, come back tomorrow, or you can't.
Yeah.
Time to go.
Yeah. See you in action. Can I pick your brain on skills?
Yes.
You're
Let's
welcome.
talk skills.
So one of the fascinating articles, I'll send it to you, that I read recently, the white paper, is the new economy skills unlocking the human advantage.
What a
it's from
title.
the World
Thanks,
Economic
marketing.
Forum. Now, the place that I want to pick your brain is,
Yes.
I will read, human skills are becoming vital for innovation, leadership, and adaptability, yet remain difficult to measure and develop. So we all know Z's that one. The fascinating thing that they found, so let's say we all agree, right? You've seen it, and actually I want to ask you this. So critical thinking, curiosity are all part of courage, capability to communicate, right? Are all critical skills today in the age of AI, because it's like AI can do your fill out the form. This is what's needed. What they did was they checked job ads. And they went, okay, so let's say we all agree that ability to critical thinking, is that being assessed and required? So in the language, they started with the language. And what they found was it's assumed. So we want you to come with it. We're not going to invest in it. And yet it is the pivotal thing that will drive organizational success, because over and above AI.
Yeah.
And so there's a real moment of difference, of gap, where organizations are like, yeah, just come with it.
Yeah. Well, it's like job ads. Like, we want you to be a great team player. I want you to be an excellent communicator. Never have I met a human who's read that in a job ad and gone, oh, not me. Won't apply for that.
I'm a shit
I'm a
team
terrible team player. I actually, what's the other one? Positive attitude. And you're like, yeah, me, super negative. Can't apply to that job. Like, what a waste of real estate. But I think that would be excellent. Or I'd love a job ad that actually didn't have all these platitudes in it, right? If you're not going to assess that, but you have used up your real estate to say it's so important. I'm not saying that I have the answer to how to assess, because that is super complicated when it comes to human-centric skills. But
they're not even asking.
You're not even trying at this point. Like, you're not even attempting to figure this out. Like, problem solving, critical thinking, there are task-based exercises that we can learn from technical interviews that you could maybe bring over into, the light skilled, white collar managerial side of things. And you could ask some technically minded questions in order to understand problem solving, critical thinking, curiosity, but we don't.
Well, and it's a big shift, right? So when I work on the ways of working or talent, right, build, that becomes a key part of the assessment, because whether I like you or not, you assess in 5 seconds. Okay. After that, how do we in our organization find the unicorns that can do the tech as well as the critical thinking, speaking up, teaming, all of those things. And that requires a change in the process, deep change. It can't be so are you a critical thinker? Are you, Jace?
Let me think about that for a second.
And I'm a shit team player.
I talk a lot in one of my programs about growth mindset and learning agility traits.
Yeah.
So how do you as an interviewer assess somebody for growth mindset and learning agility traits? What you're essentially saying is I've lost a programmer today and I need to hire a programmer now because the job right now is a program, but in 12 months time or 6 months time, I need to be a cloud engineer. So how in an interview am I questioning a person to see whether they're already on a path to learning and growth and development that will tell me that in 6 months time they're going to be where, and there are questions you can ask and there is a way of assessing those traits. But a lot of people just don't do it. Again, it comes back to gut feel. Well, I think they're going to be right.
But not in an interview. So you bring them in. I don't know if you guys have been, when you come in, I needed to do that many a yonker ago, right? When I was in the army, and they did assessments on, you did your tests, you did your interview, and then you came into a group situation for a whole day, and you were, I think they're called assessment centers.
Yeah.
Or is it?
Yeah.
And there's a whole day where the person who is a tech lead doesn't have to have that skill in assessment. There are people who do assessments for complicated skills, right? And so it's just saying, yep, no, it's not possible to assess that as a tech lead or as a expert in your field. There are people who know how to do this. So it's a change in thinking versus like, let's just get this out of the way and, you know, let's do two interviews and a reference.
So if it's broken,
Yeah.
which is what we're essentially
In the houses, but yeah, I think we can agree.
I think we can agree it's broken.
Love that phrase.
What are some of the things that the data is saying that employers should be doing to fix it?
I think there is, and the term that I've heard is repulsion marketing. I think it's too strong a term, to be fair. So essentially repulsion marketing is to try and dissuade anyone that's not for your product, your job,
From applying.
Yeah. So that's extreme, right? Because and no marketer likes that language and no recruitment team likes that language because the fear is, well, what if we miss one? What if we miss a unicorn? Mate, you're already missing the unicorns.
Hundreds
They're
of
being
them.
screened out every day by your AI or your vague job ad.
What is repulsion? Help me.
So
give
it
me
would
an
be,
example.
I'm hiring for a hospitality job. You're a barista, and my job ad might read along the lines of, if you aren't happy to get up at 5 a.m. every morning, this job is not for you. If you aren't happy to be on your feet and potentially covered in milk and go home smelling a little bit weird, this job is not for you. It's kind of saying all the things that you might not like up front so that you can self-edit out of that process.
Yeah, I love it.
Now, that's extreme. That's me saying don't apply if. The softer version of this is just far more transparency in a job ad. And salary is the best example of this.
Yeah.
There is so much pushback from employers about putting salaries. Now, one side of that is, well, we don't have internal transparency, so we can't have external transparency, which to that I say you need to sort that out.
You need a conversation in a room
Come on,
with a clipboard and a pen. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
no longer are you protected by law. Like, you really need to get a handle on that. But if you have internal transparency and you're still not happy to put into market because there's a belief that someone might edit out of that process, or, but we might be able to convince them. No, we're in a cost of living crisis with a inflation adjusted salary that is plummeting. Like, people, you're not that compelling, I promise you. And if you are that compelling, let them decide. So having things like hyper transparent, like working conditions. Don't just say flexible workplace. Say, we expect you to be in the office Tuesday to Thursday, 9 till 5:30, non-negotiable. So that someone can read that and go, I'm not happy with that, so I'm just not going to apply. And so that would also be, salaried would be the other element. If there's no growth in that role, say it. Why not? The amount of selling that we do that is false into some of these positions, into some of these businesses. If there's sticky, tricky bits about your organization, why not put that up front so that you can get the right, most enthusiastic human to the table, rather than spending your energy and time sorting through people who they could have screened themselves out of that process.
And then that person will stay.
Yes,
if they walk in with that
it's a
premise,
fit.
then that person will stay. We
They're
talk
not
about closing this
surprised.
gap of, you're going through an interview process, and right at the final stage, you take a leap of faith. And that leap of faith can be this wide, based on this is how much I know about the role and the manager and the organization and where they're going, their plans for me and growth, etc. Or that gap could be this wide.
Yeah, just a
And
little step of faith.
Yeah, and that little step of faith, those people typically are going to stay in the organization a lot longer because they're walking in with their eyes wide open.
Yeah.
They know what to expect. So I love this. I'd like to see more of this.
Same, so badly. So much of my time these days, even with all the cool data crunching, bits and pieces that we do, is spent going back to basics and looking at job ads and going, I mean, I can't change your whole process, but I can see one giant red flag that you're throwing up on the internet every day.
Yeah.
Let's work on that first.
That's a quick
so
win.
simple, quick win, right?
That's a quick win. So on that one, what are your thoughts on hiring managers doing a video? We were talking about videos before, but doing a video that is similar, right? It's this is the role, this is who you'll be working with. So it's not just here's a PD or because I've seen it. You know how you can add videos. The video that's added is the hiring manager that is talking about the role. What do you think about that as a tool?
It's really compelling. I don't know if it belongs right at the top. job seekers are still, they're in the trawling phase. We know they don't spend, we have done some eye tracking analysis out of our Germany office, which I'm very envious of. That's a piece of tech I want so bad, looking at how job seekers scan job boards, career sites, and they move pretty fast. They're looking for, same as on the other side, we're looking for keywords. Yeah. But if we think about keeping a job seeker engaged throughout a recruitment process, which can be really elongated, what an excellent bit of media to essentially send them. Automate that, get that out there, get the manager talk, because more and more people are also choosing leaders over choosing companies. Like you see that all the time in sort of mid-career and higher, right? That you're chasing that excellent human that you've heard is amazing to work with and is going to get you to the next level. Like, why not showcase your leaders? But also I think it creates a environment or a culture of understanding that hiring is everyone's job, that we are all part of that process. Like it's not just a recruitment team that sort of give you a candidate on a platter for you to eat up and spit out.
Yeah. I think I need to apologize to all the people who've just cringed their way out of this podcast because they don't want to do videos ever as part of their work.
Welcome to the new world. We were talking about this earlier. Video is everywhere.
Well, with that note, Lauren, and conscious of the time and the listeners are probably getting to the destination, how can our listeners get in contact with you?
All right. So I would say LinkedIn is the easiest. I mean, I'm all over that place at the moment. A bit like everyone, I have a complicated relationship with my presence, but I am there. So if you do want to get in touch, just slide into my DMs. I'd love to hear from any of the listeners.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for attending. Hopefully we can have a second episode
Yes,
with
please.
you. Once
Please.
Yeah, once we get like extra data in terms of what is happening with those ones that actually just use live coaching, right? Or AI coaching.
Yeah, if anyone knows of this data, if anyone's got this data, has seen it in any of their university studies, or they just particularly like Google Scholar, send it our way. Let's get into it.
We'll geek out.
Brilliant.
That sounds
Thank you very
fantastic.
much, guys.
Thanks, Lauren.
And thank you very much to our listeners. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Bye.